Hey guys, my name is Miska and welcome to Overwatch Central. In this video I'm going to be going over all of the changes that have just hit the PTR, and its balance changes not just to the supports that we saw, but also a lot of other characters such as Hanzo, Widowmaker, Zarya and so on. And yeah, let's go through it as quickly as possible because I want to tell you what they do, what the changes are exactly, and how they sort of affect the game and the character as a whole. And yeah, it's a lot of stuff. Before that though, I want to also mention the fact that they have changed a couple things. One big ultimate change, and also this little thing, they've added under attack voice lines for Zenyatta, Lucio and Moira. So basically what that means is that if you're jumped as those characters and dived on by, say, a Genji or something, there will be an automatic voice line saying that you are under attack. The next thing regarding those ultimates are channeled and transformation ultimates that are affected, and they will now kind of just reload your gun for you. So basically if you do whole hog, you don't need to also reload your gun afterwards. It is kind of annoying, and it will instead just kind of reset your ammo. If you shoot out all of your orbs as Zenyatta, then when you do Transcendence afterwards, you will just have your sort of, well, not gun, but you will have reloaded those orbs. So the ultimates that are affected by these are some channeled and transformation ultimates. And the channeled ones are the following: Junkrat's Riptire, Pharah's Barrage, Rodog's Whole Hog, and Zenyatta's Transcendence. The transformation abilities that are affected are Genji's Dragon Blade and Winston's Primal Rage. So basically you'll have the Winston Tesla cannon reloaded after the ultimate. So yeah, some cool changes, but let's head over to all of the different balance changes. We're going to start with Ana, who has had 300 HP added on top of her Nano boost. So basically, if you boost a target that's low, it will now not be low anymore. 300 HP is a good sweet spot because it means that if a tank is sort of around the 200 HP mark, they will be pretty much full HP after that, which is really solid. It does mean that, say, if someone like Hammond is low or Diva is low, then if you boost them by 300 HP, they won't get loads of armor out of that. So it's a very nice sort of sweet spot for tanks. And then, of course, also all of the 200 or 250 HP characters to have. And yeah, I think it's going to help Ana, but we're going to be talking more about that change in a different video, as there's a lot to talk about with Ana in particular. After that, though, we have a Brigitte change, and this one's a big one, at least in my opinion, because finally we're seeing an even higher cooldown to this shield bash, because this shield bash is the easiest stun in the game to land, and Brigitte has a very high win rate overall. As you can see, it's now up to 7 seconds compared to the previous 5 seconds. It was 5 seconds initially, then it was up to 6 seconds, and it was there for a while, but that didn't really change much, and now it's up to 7 seconds, and that's definitely a better spot to have it in my opinion. I suggested 7 seconds, I think, early on in the video, and I'm really happy to see this, because Brigitte is one of the few heroes that has just a very high, above 55% win rate in pretty much every tier, from Bronze to Grandmaster, and that kind of suggests that it is a bit too easy actually to get value out of this character. Either way, after that we have some Doomfist changes. These have to do with the new Symmetra. So basically you can rocket punch like this. Previously you could rocket punch the Symmetra teleporter like that. You can't do that anymore because it was a bit too easy to get some, some damage, and it didn't really make much sense either, right? But now they removed that, and you can also now, I think, actually rocket punch these little things, these little sentry turrets from Symmetra. So yeah, some minor changes to Doomfist there, but I thought I'd include them as well. Well, it's kind of balanced, I guess, but more of a change that makes sense to have there. Either way, after this, the big one, Hanzo. He has been nerfed, and it's not a huge nerf. It's a good nerf, but it's 1 second more cooldown on this jump right here. And 1 second might not seem like much, but it is a 25% increase. It goes from 4 seconds to 5 seconds, as you can see in the bottom right here. And honestly, this is great. Mobility nerfs to snipers such as Hanzo and Widowmaker, great stuff. And the Hanzo one here, it's good. Maybe they'll actually nerf him a little bit more, I'm not quite sure. Since they are nerfing Mercy as well, though, as you probably know already, it kind of might be enough as it is with this. But I think it makes sense. The mobility on Hanzo like this meant that if he was, say a Winston came diving towards me here, I could just jump to the side, activate Storm Arrows, and just kill him, like, instantly. And it was just ridiculous. It got a little bit much. So with 1 more second on there, I think it's better, but it's still, maybe he's still too strong. I don't know. We'll have to find out. No idea. But PTR, that's what it's for. Test realm, right? After that, though, we have Moira, who you have actually seen this change or heard about it. Basically, she regenerates this energy right here a little bit faster than before. So it used to be that this generated at 2 seconds. Sorry, at 2 per second. So 2 whatever, like little ticks here per second. Now it's 2.4, so it's a bit faster, but it's not any sort of ridiculous change. I think it's good because her healing resource is obviously the main reason as to why she has been weak in comparison to Mercy. And with that there, and then the other sort of balances in the support tier, speaking of which, Lucio is the next one. It should be a little bit better. Lucio has been buffed quite a lot actually. And the first one that you'll probably notice right here is the aura. Look how far out that is. That's an extra 2 meters on the radius here. And yeah, so it's gone from 10 to 12. So I can probably show you if I head over here. So here we have the 0 mark. You can see that my yellow line, if I stand right on here, is just past that 10-meter mark over here. So yeah, pretty good stuff. Obviously, it doesn't look like it's a lot when it sticks out like this, but it gives you overall just more area. And do keep in mind that if you're just, you know, on a person on your team with that healing a little bit here and there, they still get a lot of the ticks of healing out of it. So yeah, pretty solid stuff. And of course the sound barrier, the ultimate has been buffed, providing 750 shields now instead of 500. So that's, you know, the initial boom. It goes up to 750 and then slowly ticks back down. Now it's up to 750 instead of 500. Good stuff. Lucio, amazing character. Really want to see more. Really fun to play Lucio compositions. So yeah. Now this next one, Mercy. The character that has been dominating the support meta for 7 or maybe 8 months straight right now has been nerfed. She's actually just had her main healing resource nerfed, as you can see right here. So she has had her healing resource nerfed from 60 per second to 50 per second. Great stuff. That was actually revealed pretty early yesterday, so you might know about that already. But that is also, again, to balance out the support here. Mercy players, this is not something that's directed towards you to you know, just, oh no, Mercy too easy to play and we don't like Mercy players, let's nerf her. It's just to balance out the support tier as a whole, so everyone can play more supports, which is honestly just a good thing. I love it. I think it's gonna be great. The support tier is looking so much better, so much more fun, and yeah, good stuff. After that we have well, some people look at it as a support, and it's Sombra, who well, has had her head sort of hitbox, I guess you could call it, like her head hit volume is what they call it in the patch notes, but it's the head hitbox basically. She's had that reduced, so you know, if I can't really show it here since she has spread and I can't see her own head, but basically if you shoot a bit like outside some of the hitboxes of the heads, or well, yeah, just kind of around them, you would still hit them, but Sombra's head hitbox has been shrunk a little bit, so her head is a bit smaller basically, and it's a bit harder to hit, which means that, well, hopefully, she should die a little bit less, live a little bit longer, have a little bit more survivability, which in a way is kind of a buff to the character. But we'll see exactly how much that actually does. They say that it's mostly kind of a bug fix, so yeah, well, who knows? Maybe that doesn't actually really do a lot. But either way, that's in there. Next up is this Reinhardt change, which I can't really, you know, figure out if we can see or not, but the decorative insignia no longer protrudes from the shield surface. Now, you can clearly see that it does here, but this might just be visually. It might not actually do that like for an actual object. So yeah, what this basically means is that it's kind of like a way to smoothen out the barrier, make it a little bit more consistent, so Reinhardt knows what he'll be able to block and so on. I think the patch notes say something like he'll be able to more reliably block enemy abilities and stuff like Junkrat grenades. Not quite sure exactly how that will affect Reinhardt as a whole, but hey, you know, it's something. It's a change. I hope they get all those other changes to Reinhardt through in not too long. Just, you know, general fixes to the ultimate and so on. He's quite the buggy character. But either way, moving on, we have another big change, of course, another meta character, Widowmaker. Look at her cooldown in the bottom right. 10 seconds instead of 8. Pretty big. I think this is a great change. And honestly, I'm really happy to see this. It's yeah, it's another mobility nerf to a sniper that has been very meta. Hanzo and Widowmaker have been two DPSs that have been played so much in not only just Overwatch League, but high-level ranked, even low-level ranked. Hanzo and Widowmaker, thank God they're nerfed. I'm looking forward to playing the game with this, and this means that the Widow Winston sort of matchup is obviously a little bit different now, as now if Winston jumps on Widowmaker, she uses the grappling hook, and Winston's jump is much lower cooldown compared to the grappling hook now, instead of just a little bit. So 6 seconds compared to the 10 now instead of 6 to 8, which means that, you know, he'll be actually kind of be able to keep up with Widowmaker. And on top of that, before, if you could get to Widowmaker, you kind of had to do it without using the jump cooldown, and then make her jump to then jump after her, because anything else would just be kind of pointless. She would just be chasing a Widowmaker, just flying around the map. But yeah, that's a lot more interesting, makes the dive a little bit more viable, I guess you could say. But Winston just having a bit of a better time in the game, which is great for me, a Winston player. So yeah, next up, the big one. I think the main one. I said the big one twice, but the Zarya one here is a very interesting adjustment. It's kind of a nerf overall, I would still say, because the grab is still such an important thing. But basically, her energy actually depletes a little bit slower now. You can't really see it here, because you probably don't remember exactly what her numbers were. But her drain rate has been reduced from 2 per second on this energy here to 1.6. So it's a bit slower, which means that, well, basically, you'll be able to stay high energy for a little bit longer, which I think is an interesting change. But the main thing, her graviton surge has been nerfed in radius from 8 meter radius to 6 meter radius, which is a pretty big deal, honestly. It means that the grab is a bit harder to hit. There's a bit more counterplay to it. If you stand a little bit further apart, the grab just won't really get everyone. And yeah, I'm interested in seeing how this really affects her. But any sort of nerf to the graviton surge and Hanzo means that the grab dragon, and also with running Mercy with that combo of Hanzo, Zarya and Mercy, is gonna be a bit weaker, and that has been so meta for a while now that I feel like that's really healthy for the game. Grab Dragon combo every single game is not that fun. So yeah, that's all for the balance changes. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope I didn't take too long explaining anything or understanding anything. And I do want to also just quickly mention that they have changed the endorsement level in ranked. So basically, if you don't, if someone leaves your game and you want to leave it early, before if you did that, it would reset your endorsement level, which probably wasn't intended. But now they fixed that, so your endorsement level won't be reset. So you can leave games now without feeling like Blizzard will just take away your shiny endorsement level and, of course, all the extra potential loot boxes you could get from that. But either way, that's in there too. This is a huge patch. I'm really looking forward to it. Super hyped. Leave a like if you enjoyed the sort of summary of it. And yeah, subscribe and I guess click the bell if you want more Overwatch content. And that's all for now. Thank you guys very much for watching. Until next time, take care and we'll see you then.